Hey everybody, Tony D and little knothead here, Joan, with your Antifa update. Portland protester jailed for injuring officer with high-powered laser capable of burning clothes. Now they actually have video of it here. Some dude on the internet had one, and he pointed it at a piece of paper, and it burned a hole right through it. And supposedly it's good up to a quarter of a mile away, and this guy's being accused of pointing it in the eyes of officers. His bail is set at $257,000. So they're serious about getting him, apparently. He's charged with a Class B felony assault, felony unlawful use of a weapon. I mean, it's a weapon. You're not using your hands. It's a weapon, dude. Did you think, like, oh, it's a laser. I guess there's nothing we can do about it. I guess we'll be blind. Guess we'll just keep getting blinded. I mean, can you imagine what the outcry would be if police or federal agents deployed a laser to blind protesters? You would never hear the end of it. It would be, it would be like, oh, all day long they'd be showing blinded protesters and interviewing them and like, oh, I just wanted to help, and now I'm partially blind. These cops are now partially blind. This guy is going to jail, in my view. It's just the police department in Portland made a video showing it burning through a piece of paper. I mean, this is just beyond. Anyone who supports this, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Cops, some of them are bad, but even the bad ones don't deserve to have lasers pointed into their eyes. How is that helping? How is this helping black lives? Anyone in the comments explain it to me. Without being a Marxist a-hole. But you can't. And this is some of the reason why Barr told prosecutors to consider sedition charges for protest violence. And not only that, he's considering sedition charges against the mayor of Seattle and probably some of her prosecutors. Because I think what they've done is criminal. Because you have to look at it this way. What's the job of your mayor if they control the police? Their job is to protect and serve. The police's job is to protect and serve. This woman, Mayor Durkin, she said, oh, the Chaz is safe, summer of love. People died in the Chaz. People were assaulted in the Chaz. She lost complete control of it. There were idiots wandering around with guns. They put up barricades. Imagine you lived in, I don't know, New York. And one of the boroughs decided to let the mafia take over a 6 square block radius. And the guys do the same thing. They block off a bunch of the streets. You can't pass without the maid guy's permission. Maybe they shake you down. They shake down or damage some of the local businesses. They set up tables in the streets and they eat and play cards and just take it over for weeks. And people die and there are crimes being committed. I don't think you would look at that and go, well, they were only protesting. I don't think you'd look at that and go, well, the mayor couldn't really do anything. No, you'd be like, go arrest those people. All the people in the Chaz should have been arrested for blocking the road. That's illegal. It's illegal to block a road. You can't just go out in the middle of the street and block it. You could cross it, but you can't block it. You can't set up a cement barrier and lights and tables and say, well, I live here now, so F you. No, that's not supposed to happen. And Jenny Durkin was responsible for that. She knows it. She knows it. She allowed it to happen. The only thing Barr really needs it. Now, I think sedition's a step too far. I think I would call it, I would try to prosecute her probably for negligent homicide or manslaughter because people died. I think she should be prosecuted for that. And I think, of course, she should be sued as well as the city, which they most likely will be, for all the businesses and all the lost revenue. I mean, people's lives and businesses were destroyed because she let that go on. They're going to be sued, and they're going to lose, in my view. There's just no doubt about it. Unless they get in front of one of the very sympathetic judges in Seattle, and I don't think they will, she's going to be, I mean, the city of Seattle will be paying out people for years to come. Same thing with Portland, same thing with all these cities. They're going to be broke. The lawsuits will break them alone. Besides the fact that their tax base is just fleeing. They're not going to have any taxes. They're going to be cutting all these wonderful programs that they wanted to do. These are all progressives who have all these crazy ideas about, well, we're going to reshape society and the world and make everybody, you know, safe and free and wonderful and prosperous. But, you know, they have to think the right way. But, you know, we're going to give them all a house and education. You won't have the money for any of that. You won't have the money to keep the lights on by the time this is over. Whether Biden wins or Trump wins, you're screwed. Because even if Biden wins, how are you going to fend off these lawsuits? And Biden will throw you right under the bus. Now, will he give you some money? Sure, he'll give you some money to keep the lights on, but that's about it. He's going to be in trouble too. How many cities do you think he could finance with the current money situation on top of, well, we're going to give everybody universal health care and free college and, you know, we're doing this green initiative. He doesn't have the money for any of that. All that stuff's being cut the moment he gets elected, if in fact that happens. And then the market will collapse. I mean, you could just kiss all the money goodbye. The only thing he'll be left doing, of course, as all Democrats do, oh, well, we got to raise taxes just a little so we can give all that stuff that you wanted. Remember all that stuff? So I certainly think the mayor of Seattle should be held criminally liable for the deaths in her district. She allowed that to happen. I think, you know, same thing with Ted Wheeler, same thing with de Blasio. I think what these people done is criminal. Now, sedition, I don't think is appropriate for the mayors. I don't think they're actual Marxists, but some of the protesters are. They've openly declared it. Antifa openly declares they want to tear down the United States. No Trump, no wall, no USA at all. That's what they chant. Sometimes. Not all of them, but you can find these idiots. They film themselves. They put stuff on Facebook. They put stuff on Twitter all day long. And yes, they'll use avatars, but the U.S. government knows who you are. They always do. Because you idiots don't know history, you forgot about the Bush years when they created the system under which we currently live in, where you're constantly surveilled. So they'll get you if they want to. You know, if they want to bother prosecuting you. Now, under a Biden administration, they're going to prosecute you even more. Because as I've always said, and this is a major disagreement I have with Tim Pool. Tim Pool thinks that, you know, when Biden gets in, he'll let these people run amok. No, he can't. And neither can the people who actually pull his strings, which will probably be Kamala Harris to a great extent. And she's a prosecutor, and she was a tough one, and she's a hypocrite too. So I'll tell you right now what Kamala will do. She will send out the word, get these people, get them all, round them up. We're prosecuting them. And you might say, well, why would they just turn 180 degrees? Well, it won't happen overnight. They'll start with the media. They'll say, okay, here's the story. See, you know, we used to like Antifa, but then it was infiltrated by right-wing lunatics and foreign actors, maybe the Russians, you know, whatever tack they decide. It'll be, you know, reasonable for the audience of the New York Times, let's say. And they'll go after these groups way worse than Trump. Trump's going to go after them, no doubt. He'll give them heavy sentences and they'll be in jail and everything. But at some point, Trump will just be like, okay, you know, he's got bigger fish to fry. So once he gets it to a certain point, it's mostly over. You know, the little guys he won't go after. Biden, Harris, oh, they'll go after everybody. Because they'll have to crush it. And all those prosecutors who were so wonderful and nice to you, all those city council people who, yeah, I'm a communist too, and I want to abolish the police. Either they will fall in line or they'll be crushed as well. Because they can't afford those people politically. They can't afford having them run around. They have to get control of the situation. And they will. They're not going to let this go on when they have control. See, when they don't have control, yeah, they can let it go on. Why not? It only hurts Trump in their eyes. Although it's not. It's backfiring terribly. But when they're in charge, no. You see what happened in Waco? Can't allow that. Crushed. They'll kill them all. You think these raids were bad? You're going to get a situation like in Waco. Only, they'll go into an Antifa place. One guy will have a gun. And they'll shoot the whole place up. Kill them all. And the spin will not be, oh no, brave college kids, part of Black Lives Matter, have been killed. The spin will be radical political extremists were killed in a shootout with police, regardless of what the real story is. That will be the headline, because all the political class and all the pundit class will shift the other way when the Democrats tell them to, because that's the whole point of them. They've been running cover for Biden for months. They're going to shift the other way once he wins. Then it'll be cover for his administration. It'll be cover for his crimes. And then all these people who fought the good fight and the resistance to get rid of Donald Trump, they're all going to jail or dying or having their lives absolutely destroyed. Guys like me will just get censored. I'll be kicked off of YouTube or, whatever, and I'll be stuck on BitChute, and then probably they'll somehow shut that down. But, for the people who fought in the streets, oh, they're done. They're done. Especially the ones that don't support Biden. They know who you are. Oh, yeah. They know who you are, and they'll find out. You'll fall in line, or you're done. So, do I think they should prosecute sedition? It's a bold move, Cotton, as they say. But I think for some of these protesters who are actually insurgents and actually support overthrowing the United States, perhaps. I don't know. Sedition laws don't sit right with me. I think you should just prosecute them for their crimes. It's really tough to, promote treason. I think the people who are more at fault, again, are the prosecutors, judges, and local leaders who refuse to prosecute these people. I think they need to be removed from their positions of power because they are not doing their jobs. And I think what they are doing is criminal. That's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, but I think it's criminal not to apply the law equally, is my understanding. And if right-wing protesters commit a crime and you arrest them, but then left-wing protesters commit a pretty similar crime, if not a worse crime, and you just keep letting them go, that's a clear bias to me. And those people should be removed, punished, really, that's the Fed's job. I mean, that is corruption. Again, if it was the mafia doing it, there'd be no question, right? Oh, these guys, they let go of the mafia all day long. They prosecute anybody else who steals stuff that fell off a truck. But, mafia guys, somehow they never prosecute them. They just let them go. You'd say, yeah, that's an incredibly corrupt system. It's the same thing, only it's with politics. So, Barr ain't messing around. And another 4 years of Trump, the hammer's coming down. The hammer is coming down. And these people are coming back to reality, kicking and screaming. And you will either obey the law or you're going to go to jail. I keep telling you, you're going to jail.